30 million blocks away, the world border stops you from traveling any further, so I decided to entirely remove this limit and go to infinity and beyond. Let's see what happens. Going past 2 to the power of 25 or 33.5 million blocks away, lighting no longer works properly due to an integer overflow, and the game crashes at exactly 2 to the power of 25. And fair enough, as Minecraft's default world border limit is at 30 million blocks out, and the Minecraft world is already at a surface area of 3.6 billion square kilometers. Compare this to our real life world at a measly 510 million square kilometers, and the Minecraft world seems pretty good in comparison. But I want to go even further, and you want to see this game break, so I found a mod that makes it possible to remove the light limitation and go even farther out. Trying to go past 1 billion blocks out, or 2 to the power of 30, the game immediately crashes. This used to be at 2 billion blocks out, but this has changed to 1 billion blocks out. While I can throw numbers at you all I want, I'll instead show you a scale of reference. 1 billion blocks is almost 3 times the distance between Earth and the Moon, or around 25 times the circumference of the planet. Trying to travel here would take nearly 3,000 real-life days with Minecraft's normal walking speed, and yet I'm not even close to being done with this game. This may be the limit of modern Minecraft, but we can keep going in older versions of Minecraft. Our next barrier is at 2 to the power of 53. While beforehand the terrain looks reasonably normal, at this distance terrain stops looking normal at all, and it is no longer possible to travel any further without using commands. While 1 billion meters is only 3 times the distance to the moon, 9 quadrillion meters is approximately half the size of the entire solar system, or nearly 1 light year across. This is the stripe lands, and they come before the far lands in 64-bit Minecraft. It's pretty hard to see what's going on here, but this mod allows you to disable the stripe lands, and as you can see, the far lands appear at this distance, 53 quadrillion blocks away. These far lands don't look like the regular far lands though, due to these far lands acting more like the Bedrock Edition far lands, and having terrain detail lost the further out you go. But we should probably appreciate the scale that we're going at. Proxima Centauri is 4 light years away, and as you can see, we are 5 light years away from 00, which is more than the distance to the nearest star in our solar system. That is absolutely insane, but we can still go much further than that. This is the point at where decay in the far lands is noticeable, and these effects are magnified the further out you go. The repeating patterns we saw at the corner far lands are getting even more extreme till we see the farther lands 4.313 quintillion blocks away. At this distance, any detail in the far lands is entirely gone, chunk rendering seems to break down, and any semblance of caves has long since vanished. When looking closer, caves seem to have lost their precision at this distance, all falling onto a singular line instead. And from here, all the way to the 64-bit integer limit, the limit of this mod, is the farther lands. This is nearly 2,000 light years end to end, or 1,000 light years from 00, so even if I could travel at the speed of light, it would take me over 10 generations just to get here. For most people, this is more than enough of a distance to be traveling to, but there's another mod I have that allows me to go all the way to infinity and beyond. Quickly taking a look at the 64-bit barrier, it's interesting to note that not only does the game not crash where it otherwise would have, but it's also possible to move around freely at this distance. This very powerful Minecraft mod lets us move around freely at any distance, allowing us to find previously unknown limitations in Minecraft. At 147 quintillion blocks, around 16 times the 64-bit barrier, stone generation breaks down entirely and results in this happening. Along the corner fartherlands, stone generation is entirely gone, and along the edge fartherlands, stone appears periodically but clearly not in an intended way. This will have happened at 35 billion blocks out, but due to the biome generation being shifted from 32-bit to 64-bit, it now happens at 147 quintillion blocks. I have no idea why it's moved here, but here we are. This is a point in the video where the corner and the edge fartherlands decay at different rates. Taking a look at the far less extreme of the two, the corner fartherlands start to decay at 2 to the power of 85. While this may still look like the normal fartherlands, going just a bit further reveals that each of the layers of the corner fartherlands decays at different distances. While it's confirmed that the fartherlands start decaying at 38 octillion blocks out, and that they fully complete decaying at 45 octillion blocks out, the point at which these fartherlands decay is unclear and varies from seed to seed. As an additional note, there should be the Skygrid at around this far.
There you go. That right there is the Skygrid in Java Edition.
but I haven't personally been able to recreate the Skygrid using vanilla Minecraft noise generation. Even though this is the less extreme of the two limits, 38 octillion meters out is still billions of light years across, which is around 5% of the entire observable universe. End to end, the corner fartherlands decay at around 14% of the entire observable universe, which is absolutely absurd for a silly little block game. However, the edge fartherlands still don't properly decay yet, and for that we will have to go much further. From 9 quintillion blocks all the way to 8 quindecillion blocks, the fartherlands are the only thing that we see along the x-axis. However, at just over 8 quindecillion blocks, we get to see the first bit of decay on the fartherlands. At this distance, the fartherlands start to decay slowly into the fringelands, and terrain gradually reduces into nothing. It should also be noted that I couldn't replicate the dotted lines in the clip above, but I could just be doing something wrong. Regardless, from my personal testing, the fringelands decay at various stages, from the fartherlands to an infinite ocean. Keep in mind that 8 quindecillion blocks, the lower limit of the fringelands, is around 9 nonillion light years, which is around 10 billion trillion times the size of the observable universe. At this point, the entire observable universe isn't good enough for a scale of reference, and I'm not even sure how Minecraft hasn't crashed immediately after going out this far. This is the best way I can visualize the whole Minecraft world. As you can see, the Minecraft world generates in a way that I can only describe as pure and total chaos. The fartherlands decay in complex math equations that I can't fully explain in a singular video. Maybe a developer somewhere out there can explain why this happens, but regardless, it would make for a fun challenge video. Between 2 to the power of 163 and 2 to the power of 1023, an infinite ocean emerges and absolutely nothing happens for a distance so large that calling it infinite is reasonable at this point. The penultimate distance barrier is around 2 to the power of 1024. At this distance, chunk generation no longer works, and you are left with an infinite void as chunks try to generate but refuse to. I can't properly give you any scale of reference at this distance, as these numbers are so large they might as well be infinite to mere mortals like you and I. However, the game hasn't crashed yet, and there's still opportunities to go beyond this limit. And this is the final teleportation limit of Minecraft. Minecraft's chat teleportation limit is at 32,767 characters with this mod. I went the furthest possible distance without using other tools to help me go further, at 10 to the power of 32,760 blocks out. There's probably a way to go further than this, but I don't see a point in going any further as there are no more interesting effects beyond 2 to the power of 1024. Our next stop, the World Spawn. Let's recap our entire journey from here on out. We've broken Minecraft world border and gone out to distances so far that calling them infinite is close enough, using both modern and older versions of Minecraft. These bugs are absolutely insane, and there's so much I haven't covered yet, so there will be a part 2 to this video when I can make it. This is the first video that I've spent weeks editing, scripting, and recording a singular video, so I ask you to please hit that like and subscribe button, as that will mean a lot to an ultra small content creator. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the videos, and I'll see you in the next one.